Okay, let's go video time again, and I'm really excited about this video. The reason I'm excited is because, you've got started in your classes now and you're working your way through the assessment cluster, and I think this video will actually give you a dose of reassurance. And reassurance is always a good thing when you're studying. We really do care about how you're progressing with your studies, and we really do want you to contact your mentor and the learner success team when you need assistance. And we're here to help, and this video will hopefully reinforce that, because this video is about the competency-based assessment system. Now, not only does this video apply to how you're going to help others when you're assessing them, but it also equally applies to how we assess you, because we're all part of the competency-based assessment system. And the vocational education and training system relies heavily upon the competency-based assessment system. So let's dive in and let's have a look at what that means. So first of all, it's all about competency standards. It's all about the learner, whether that's you or whether it's the learners that you're going to be assessing. Do they meet that standard? It's a bar, it's a level, it's an expectation. Can the learners show that they meet that standard? Are they falling short? Are they close? Do they just meet it? Do they exceed it? Where are they in relation to that standard? And as it says on the screen, it's a set of benchmarks used to assess skills and knowledge to meet the requirements of the workplace. And in the case of a lot of training that we do in our vocational education and training industry, that those requirements of the workplace are expressed in documents such as units of competency. Those competency standards are written down. So although we might not be directly assessing people in the workplace necessarily, we're assessing them to those standards. Now, with that in mind, competency standards are used as the basis for defining learning outcomes and the assessment benchmarks in VET. So they set the standard, and we're looking whether or not our learners meet that standard. Another way of looking at it is shown in this slide. And what this slide does is highlights the difference between competency-based assessment and other assessment systems. As it says on the screen, competency-based assessment is different from other types of assessment which have traditionally been used in education and training. In competency-based assessment, skills and knowledge are assessed against specific criteria as set out in competency standards, rather than being assessed against other learners. I know that I remember when I was at university, I studied at university. I was very lucky to go to uni for a few years. And when I was at uni, I wasn't thinking about the standard. I wasn't thinking about accomplishing a certain standard. I was thinking about where I was going to rank against the other people in the same class. Because at university, your rank relative to the other people in the class determines your grade. So I wanted to climb. I wanted to climb up that ladder. I wanted to beat Joe. I wanted to beat Mary. I wanted to give Bob a good thrashing. Because if I could do better than those people, I was going to get a better grade. Now, that is not the case in competency-based assessment. In competency-based assessment, you're assessed against that documented standard. If you meet that standard, great. If there's 1,000 people in the class and they all meet that standard, great. If there's 1,000 people in the class and none of them meet that standard, not so great. But it's all about meeting that documented standard. And this is what I hope you find reassuring about this video. We're not comparing you against the other students. We're just looking to help you get to the standard you need to achieve. That's our job. It's the old versus the new. The old way of doing things, hunched over desks, doing exams, all about grading and all about marking and all about doing better than other people. That's not what we're about here. What we're about here is asking ourselves the question, can you do the job? Can you be effective in the workplace? Are you going to meet the required standard? And I hope you find it reassuring knowing that that's what we're hoping and that's what we're helping you to do, to meet the standard so you can be effective in the workplace. And when you get to your formal assessments, if you don't get it right the first time, we're going to give you another go. And we're going to give you a third go and a fourth go if necessary. We're not interested in passing or failing. We're just interested in helping you achieve that competency standard. And I hope you take that philosophy forward as well, because that's what the vocational education and training system is all about. Now, there's one little thing I want to add, and I almost forgot to include it in the video. And this slide on the screen sums it up perfectly. That when we're looking to assess people in the competency-based assessment environment, it's all about sizing them up for the job. It's about making sure they satisfy that standard in the job place. It's not about creating bar charts about how successful people are relative to their peers. It's all about putting them in the right place and getting them with the skills and knowledge they need to be effective in the workplace. That's what we're assessing against, and that's what's important in the competency-based assessment environment.